I'm Jordan Belfort, and this is Sales School. So, you take control of the conversation. Move to the next one, right? Let's talk about another pain point. Lead generation, right? Remember, people don't have enough leads, right? Well, let me tell you, yes, that is very, very true. And I'll deal with that when we get to referrals in a few seconds here. Because marketing equal lead generation, right? This is straight line persuasion. I teach marketing separately. This is sales. Sales means, what do you do after you get the leads? How do you take leads that come into your pipeline and turn them into buyers, right? Well, here's a point, and really zero in on this. Is very important. This is another nugget that will literally at least increase your earnings by 20%, just one nugget, right? I don't care how amazing the marketing program you use is. Company gives you leads, however targeted it is, right? If 100 people come into your funnel, half of them are never going to buy from you. They're not right. They don't have the money. They got dragged there by mistake. They didn't really know what they're clicking on or whatever. They walked in the wrong store, right? Half of those people are not real buyers. The other half are real buyers. The question is how do you take the right people? How do you find the right buyers? Well, with the straight line system, I show you a very simple way of how you actually take all these buyers and you figure out who the good ones are, who the bad ones are, discard the bad, and continue with the good ones down the straight line, as the phrase goes, right? And you ultimately close them. Now, I can't teach you how to do that right now. It would take me 3 days, really. It's not complicated. The straight line is made of building blocks. Each block builds on the blocks before, right? That requires building blocks. But now here's a hack. As important as it is to make sure that you essentially eliminate those non-buyers. And by the way, you may probably heard of Grant Cardone. Capital M for moron in my eyes, because I had the guy on my podcast, and the guy doesn't know the first thing about selling. Just so you know, I asked him the most basic question he couldn't answer. This one thing alone, if you don't get these non-buyers out of your sales funnel, they will destroy you. You know why? Because you'll spend all this time making presentations to people who will never buy from you. That's number one. And number two, you start thinking, damn, maybe there's something wrong with me. I can't close. Well, I'm not meant for sales. No. You're speaking to the wrong people. People who don't have any interest, guess what? They're not interested. That's not a level, that's not interest. It's no interest. You get those people out of your funnel as quickly and elegantly as possible. So you can then spend time talking to the ones who potentially will buy. Not the ones who won't buy. It's just nonsense. I had this with Grant Cardone. He got destroyed over this comment online. He's still getting destroyed to this day over it because it just shows such a lack of understanding of what it really means to be a salesman in the 21st century. Maybe he comes from a different planet. I don't know. Maybe the planet Zulu or something. I heard about it. All right. Anyway, Xenu. Okay. Separate issue. Anyway, the point is, okay, is that, well, I can't show you. That's a higher level tactic of how we really do that. What I can show you is the other side of the equation. As you do that, as you're weeding out the good from the bad, there's a way to do it that allows you to build massive rapport on both a conscious and an unconscious level. And this, my friend, is the hack of all hacks, right? At the end of the day, there's something I do, and I've taught the people all over, and they tell me it changed my life, right? It's called active listening. Watch. I ask you a question. I say, so tell me, how long are you living in the area for? Doesn't matter, right? And the person says, oh, it's living in the area for 3 years now. I used to live over in Bethlehem, and then I moved there over down to Virginia, and up Virginia to Norway, and from Norway. And they start talking and tell their story, right? And I'm like this. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. Uh-huh. Great. And what type of work are you doing now? And they say, oh, well, I was doing this and now I'm doing blah, blah. And they start talking. I'm like, uh-huh. Okay. Uh-huh. You're done. You're going to close only the easiest, the most laid down of buyers. People who'd buy from anyway. Let me tell you something. You know what? Thank God that there's not that many people who will buy from anybody. You know why? because then you wouldn't get paid so much to be a salesperson. The reason we make so much as straight line professionals, the reason people advertise looking straight line, people run ads, I mean, straight line certified people looking for straight liners, because you will pay big money for someone who could take someone who's interested but not there yet and get that person to buy. That's the magic. If you do it that way, meaning, you'll close only the simplest closes. No one wants to pay you for those. Here's what I do and what I want you to do. And I'll just give you a little bit of this. Obviously, I go into this in massive detail. I'll show you exactly how, but I'm gonna give you enough now so you can use this. It's my gift to you, and watch how well it works, right? But you don't want to stop here. I say, so tell me, how long are you living in the area for? And the person says, oh, I'm living there for 3 years. And they start talking I'm like, oh, nice, oh, wow, I'm exaggerating. I'm like, wow, got it, yep, nice, I am listening actively to show that I care, that I understand. I feel, I feel your pain. Ooh, oh, wow, I'm proud of you. The little oohs, ahas, yups, ahas, nopes, oh my God. In there, see, with the straight line, put a graphic up. Here's your straight line. Open, close, boundaries above, below, right? Inside these boundaries, which is called being in control of the sale, this is where the magic happens. While you ask someone a question, and as they talk, you're like, yep, got it, yep, ooh, nice. And you start asking your follow-up questions. There's this little wiggle room then you have these boundaries here. Outside the boundaries is what's called going off to Pluto or your anus. Not good places to be for us, right? At least for most, I don't judge, right? But the point is that this active listening while you are prospecting is the ultimate hack, because here's what happens. When you are done asking your straight line prospecting questions, which means that you know everything you need to know, not just to see whether they're qualified to buy, but they've given you the roadmap how to close them. People will tell you what you need to hear to close. They'll give you the keys to the kingdom. That's what we do with straight line prospecting. But we also allow you, through active listening and 3 or 4 other systems I use simultaneously, you exit this intelligence gathering phase in such tight rapport. They're like, man, I just really like this guy, this girl. They are the pit, and that, because guess what? Remember those 5 core elements? What was number 2? They must trust and connect with you, the salesperson. How do you think you line that up? People don't buy from people who they don't trust and like, by the way. See, one of the true beauties of the straight line system is that it allows you not just to close sales at a ridiculously high level, but there's no pressure. I know you saw The Wolf of Wall Street, some funny scenes there, right? That's not the way it really works. It's the opposite of that. You don't close with, Jim, give me a shot. It's like, believe me, Jim, you'll be very impressed. Sound fair? The straight line shows you step by step how to make these perfectly constructed, airtight logical cases, airtight emotional cases, and doing that within the confines of lining up those 5 core elements, and bam, you ask for the order in exactly the right way. And by doing that, you very quickly get to the point where you can close everyone who's closable. And let me tell you, even when you're at a fraction of that place, I promise you your life will soar. I've seen it again and again. Average people who have never made a lot of money before, people who struggled, danced with success, they had the best of intentions. And you have to have those. You have to want it. You know, if you don't want to be successful, I'm the wrong mentor for you, right? If you want to make money, I'm the guy, okay? I'll show you how to do it ethically, elegantly, and simply. But there's work to be done. And even then, after you learn this, you got to work, right? You got to pick up the phone, whatever it is you got to do, right? But I will give you a pathway so you'll know this. If I put the work in, I will get the result I deserve. That I can assure you. That's what I'll show you. Now, next, one more major takeaway here. Let's talk about referrals. Let's talk about after sales. Here's the deal. The biggest mistake I've ever seen made in any sales situation, well, I can't, there's so many, but this is just one that's the most expensive one. How about this? There's so many industries out there. And whether you're in one or not doesn't really matter because this applies to anyone. The overarching idea here is that they make a sale, like, yes, they're so happy they made a sale, they're like, the sale's over. See, with the straight line system, we assume we're going to make the sale. Like, we're not surprised when it happens because we close everyone who's closable. We close at such a high level. It's not like I said, yes, someone said yes. You're doing a Macarena. It's not like that. You're like, that's what should have happened, right? That's when the fun begins because now we enter phase 2, which is called creating customers for life. How do you take every single person that the straight line shows you to close, which would be 5 times as many people as you're closing right now? Just imagine all the money in your pocket. Just imagine how it impacts your dreams and the people around you, their dreams. Just imagine that. But now imagine this. Imagine being able to take these new customers and have them buy from you again and again and again and give you massive referrals. Here's the deal. Let me tell you the secret. The secret is this. Once you close the deal, that's not where the sale ends. That's where the sale begins. In the same processes that we use to get someone to buy, we then go into the same post-sale essential syntax, things that we do in order. We have a syntax, an order of how we go about getting second sales, third sales, fourth sales, fifth sales, right? Now, again, can I teach it all to you right now? I can't. But here's a hack I can give you. Okay, I'll try to do it. I know we're over here, but I promise to give you value, so I'm doing it, right? Here's the hack I can give you. The bottom line is this. Let's just focus on referrals for a moment. Number 1, if you go online, this is the joke of all jokes. This just goes to show you how little, like the outside of the straight line, there really is no good sales training out there. It's idiotic almost, right? The collective wisdom out there is that, and you just, human, look online, see what they say. They say, the biggest mistake people make with referrals is they ask for them too quickly. You have to wait until the person has a chance to see and benefit. Oh, really? Do you know that every single thing I've ever sold in my life, I am getting referrals on the spot. The day I close, and I get them in droves. And ask anyone who knows me, anyone, I get more referrals than any 20 salesmen combined. And I start the process the moment I close. Now, that being said, sometimes you might work for a company, they have certain protocols in place. So if there's a protocol, they want some things to happen with onboarding and adoption, fair enough. That's a company policy. And the straight line is malleable like that. So when I work with a company, because I do mostly corporate training, we simply overlay it on top of that and position this referral strategy onto when the company wants to start asking. But in the absence of that, I promise you this. With the straight lines, see now, it's a hack and it's not a hack, all right? Because you really can't do this without the straight line, because I think it's almost like a hack unto itself, what I'm saying. See, here's what happens. When most salespeople that aren't using the straight line close, they close by the skin of their teeth. It was an easy sale anyway. The person didn't buy because they said, damn, I love the salesman, or they were just so sure they just barely closed. With the straight line system, when they say yes, they say yes and they feel good about it. They feel good about you, most importantly. You've earned the right to ask for referrals because you want that guy's like the things every move that we make with the straight line, it's not just designed to close. It also sets us up to get massive referrals and second, third, and fourth sales from the people after sales, right? So what I want you to do, here's the deal. I want you, as a habit, as a rule, in fact, to ask every single person you close, right after you close them, as you're writing up the application, oh, by the way, do you know anybody who I can help in the same way that I've helped you? And then we do what's called multiple choice. What's easier, fill in the blank or multiple choice? Multiple choice, right? We know from school, right? You just gotta hack it out, right? Any friends, any family, any neighbors, any businesses? See, give them options. Tell them who you want to refer. Make it specific.